Actually, I grabbed 3, but this one's like sickly. So he's out. And then this one is the one that I was originally thinking. And it's a little bit lighter. It would totally work, but this one's a little bit closer. It's not quite right, but I think I'm gonna go with it because it's just a little bit closer to the right tone, whereas this one's pastel-y. The idea is that it blends. It doesn't have to match. You're not going to see it because the stitches are really tiny. So this is what we're going to use. It is also a Coats and Clark's, or Coats, oh gosh, Coats and Clark. It's a quilting and piecing. I don't know a whole ton about like sewing machine thread and like the different weights. I know that there's really thick for like denim and that kind of stuff, but this is a 35 weight. I don't know, this one doesn't, the all-purpose doesn't have a weight. Fascinating. Oh, the all-purpose is 100%, oh, I'm going to pronounce that wrong. Some version of cotton. Mercerized cotton? I don't know. That's the all-purpose, but the one for quilting and piecing is 60% polyester and 40% cotton. So it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit maybe stronger. Interesting. Needle. I'm not saying cotton isn't strong, but the polyester tends to add a durable strength that cotton doesn't always have. Okay. So I overlapped in my corners so that I didn't have a knot just kind of hanging out. So if I lay this, I should probably lay it out this way. Hold that up. So you kind of have to ignore the fact that there's knots everywhere. So we'll have this, and then this one can just get sewn onto any which way. So my brain says I can sew along this line and then come over here and do this one, right? Like, how do I get the most out of one piece of thread, right? We'll see. But just kind of fold them together. So I'm going to sew along this line. There's a thread there, so I'm going to just kind of wipe it down, I guess. I did my knot. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to kind of do a couple little stitches so that my knot is way out here or in, I guess, and not at the corner or the tip. I also, I wish I had a way to like zoom in. We'll see if this focuses. Oh, it did, kind of, sort of. Okay, don't look at my nails. So I'm going into the corner, and I will do it along every side, but I'm also going to go through that corner a couple times for stability to kind of reinforce the strength. It's probably one of those things that's like super unnecessary, but like that first stitch, I thought I pulled it pretty tight. It's kind of not. And then we're just gonna grab a few of the cotton pieces. There we go. Of the fabric. These first ones are kind of a pain because it wants to go over here, but you don't want to catch the cardboard or the paper, whatever you have on the inside. You don't want to catch that. The idea is to just kind of go along the edge of it. Make sure you grab just a few fibers from each fabric to sew them together. You're pulling pretty taut. Okay. That's maybe too many fibers. A tightly woven cotton, like a Kona cotton, is really good. A looser woven fabric is just going to be a little bit trickier to work with. Doesn't mean you can't use it. It's just going to be a looser weave. So just trickier is a really good word. It's just a little bit trickier. Okay. So we're back to a corner. I'm going to go through it twice. And then I could just come over here and tie the knot, right? But I'm gonna try and open it. So I'm gonna go this way, right? So if that's how it opens up, my thread is right over here. I can now bring this guy and again go through the corners, and we're going to go along this line. Super exciting. Telling you, it was really therapeutic to just kind of sit and sew these together. I mean, there was nothing, I had no project in mind. I didn't, like, a lot of people are like, you can make a wallet. I'm like, what? Excuse me? You could make a bag. And I'm like, oh, that's a little bit bigger than maybe I wanted to make. A big one is quilts. That is like beyond the size that I wanted to make. That is a big, big project. And I think the majority of my fabrics that I've been using, that's a lot. Never mind, let's take that out and try again. A lot of the fabrics I'm using are not muted. I have bright colored fabrics and could definitely be fun and whimsical, but feeling like I needed some sort of a pattern to it. So like a fun layout of flowers or something. I don't know. Something. Okay. So you'll notice that this portion will still need to be sewn. However, we'll get there. And that's when like you start folding them, right? Like this gets folded so that it can be pinched and you can sew along. That's what the creases come in. But where are we? Right here. Okay. I think I'm going to come down this way. Yeah. So I prefer shoving the needle away from me. So I flip it around to sew it. And I think once you get that centerpiece in, you can easily tell the layout of your flower, right? Okay. I don't have like a great measurement of like how far apart they are spaced. Don't have a ruler within arm's reach, but I would say, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch? No, 1/16 of an inch? Somewhere. I think I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches, not including the corners. That was on the last one. Maybe I should see if that's where I'm trending for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 7. I took away my mat that I've been using that has like measurements on it so you guys could see the sizing because it was kind of busy. So I thought I'd give this a try because these fabrics are very busy as well. I don't know if this is better or worse, but we'll give it a try for a little bit, at least through this project. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 on that one. Let's go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 7 or 8 stitches across, depending on how I'm feeling. Okay. So we will have to do some knots. So I'm just going to kind of reverse it from what we started. Do a couple stitches, get away from the corner. It's got enough bulk already. Okay. So we've sewn along here, here, and here. I can come out and do this one, right? And then I'm kind of in the same predicament I was over here. Like I can either come back down on this purple or I can, go all the way around, and then I have to come out and individually sew down all of the petals, I guess. But I think like it's not a perfect color match, but I think your stitches are small enough that you're not gonna necessarily notice the color. You would notice if I use like white, right? That part would be very noticeable, but I think in general, maybe let's get a knot going. So this is essentially how you sew Hexis. Oh, here we go. I'm excited to kind of show you guys the folded process. I think we've made, I mean, obviously I didn't cut out the cardboard, right? Like we didn't do the tracing, we didn't do the cutting of the cardboard, but it's been about an hour. Oh, and we've gotten 6 hexes sewn or basted into their cardboard template frame things. That feels a little like I'm stuck in cardboard. There we go. I think we've gotten some of them assembled together. So I think if you had them on file, right? Like if you're the crazy lady like me, and you just have some extra projects sitting around, then you can get this. You can get a pincushion done pretty quickly. That's pretty big of a stitch. Let's try again. Ouch, I don't think I did that any better, but that's okay. I think it would be a really fun, just like a gift. If you have someone who's getting into sewing, or I don't know, it's just a good travel. I recently got some, like earlier in December, like, like this size of a scissor, to put your, like, travel your scissors, to, to put your scissors in for like a traveling project. So this pincushion would be really good for something like that. Oh, this coordinates really well. Very unplanned. That was kind of fun. Putting in an extra one in here. 1, 2, oh, 7. Yeah, okay. It just seemed a little bit of a stretch to miss that last stitch, but if I can get all of the green pieces sewn, then we can take out the middle one and I can kind of show you how that looks. I don't know how it's gonna, how do you, my brain is, it must be this way. It's gotta be. Okay. Okay. Sure, sure. I'm just trying to think through the assembly. Like, I've seen the patterns and this is it. It feels like it should be a little bit more complicated, but what do I know? I'm just a girl who's not following a pattern, just going off of, like, the memory of what I saw online. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. That seems pretty straightforward. And now I'm over here trying to do it, and I'm like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. It's all good. Okay, there we go. One more, and then we'll do our corners. Maybe? There we go. Okay, I have to say this is very refreshing to be doing something that's not Christmas related. Christmas is always fun. It's so nice. Okay. I feel like I would like to go this way. No reason why, just mixing it up, I guess. Okay. There we go. I feel like the downside to using paper or cardstock is you wouldn't be able to feel, like, I can kind of feel the edges of the cardboard and my needle just kind of like right over, like it just kind of like, nope, we're not going through it, we're gonna just go right around. I don't know if I would feel it the same way, I guess, with just a cardstock. Maybe you probably just get used to it. Cardstock would be easier to work with. as far as like cutting goes. I don't know if it would last as long as the cardboard. Maybe. Okay. Three, four, five, six. All right. Now I'm like, huh, how many stitches did I do? We'll do one more knot and then, or sorry, one more stitch and then a knot. And kind of lay it back out again and see where we're at. I think I have like definitely one more on this thread, but maybe two. So my brain's going like, use it on like one of the weird little one-offs. But I think if I don't tie a knot, I can easily get two. So I think I should come over here or come back here and go down on one side. Yeah, we're getting there. Cool. Let's tie a knot on this guy. Ooh, he's getting kind of short. Maybe. No, we can do it. We got this. Okay. So we're folding him. And the first one is going to be kind of tricky to get it all lined up, but I think we just gotta shove it, shove it into place. Make sure that we're doing purple and green. Sorry, it's holding it a little closer to me. You guys couldn't see. Whew, my tail is short. Okay. There we go. And the more you sew, like the more stitches you do, the more aligned that little row will be. It's not really a row, I don't know, that side. They'll line up just a little bit easier the more you sew them together. Okay. And then, no. Then we'll do one more side, and I should have enough to tie it off after two sides. Might be a little tight, but I think we can get it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're gonna just come up this way. Because I gotta tie a knot anyways. I might as well. Just do it at the end. Oh, my nose itches, sorry. I feel like I've got things in the way when I'm trying to sew. I also think that it would be really fun to like do some embellishing stitches on this Hexi. I've never really done embellishing stitches on cotton. I've done hand embroidery on like cotton towels in a hoop, but I don't have a hoop this size. So I don't know. And if it's gonna be a pincushion, I mean, you don't want to go like hog wild. One of the things I noticed about this guy is that sometimes it's hard to get pins in because it's such a tight, like some parts of it, totally fine. But other parts I'm like, nope, just kidding. No pin there. So you just have to be, I don't know, kind of mindful. But that's why I think like a cotton thread would be really good for any kind of embellishments. I don't think that I would use any of the synthetics, the razzles or the dazzles. A lot of the like Rainbow Gallery, super fun things that I've picked up. Like the more you shove a needle into them, like they're just gonna look more and more broken down and haggard. So I think the cottons, those cotton threads will hold up the best. And there's a lot. There's a lot of, you could do embroidery floss like DMC. They've got some variegated. I just happen to have a lot of pearl cottons, and I have variegations. I just have to figure out what stitch. I have no idea. None. Well, that's not true. I have ideas. I just don't think they're the right ideas. The one of the stitches that kind of comes to mind is that it's a kind of a variation of the spiderweb stitch that we did, but woven a different way. It looks more like a flower, but I don't know. Like I don't want pins to get lost in the thread or the pin cushion itself, right? So I feel like that wouldn't be a great idea. It would be cute, but I don't think it's the right. Okay, so we've got this opening right here, and then we've got 3 right here. So I can, and then we need to attach this guy. So I feel like I should start with this one, and you can kind of see, right? Like there's this gap here, right? And when we stitch it together, it's just going to kind of sink right in together. But until we get those stitches in place, it's just got a little bit of a gap. And same with these ones. They don't perfectly line up, right? But you're able to manipulate the fabric with the thread by kind of just pulling it tightly together. And it's close. It's very, very close. But because we're adding in those extra stitches in the corners, it pulls it a little bit, which I'm okay with. I like to have those corners neat and crisp, and I think having the stitches in the corners helps with that. I would be wary to not have stitches in the corners because then your corners aren't necessarily going to, like the thread pulls them and cinches it all together. So if you don't have that stitch in the corner, you don't have anything cinching in the corners together. It's just going to be along the straight edge, I guess, which isn't a bad thing. I think having clean corners is a good thing. So that's where I'm at. So we're going to get some more purple thread. It should be plenty, but okay. Where did I put it? Did I really put it in here? Huh, okay. Neat. Look at me using a pin cushion as it's intended. Okay. So we're going to do this one. Gonna fold the green. And then get to sewing. I think these are really comparable to like a whip stitch when I'm doing my wool applique. That's not what I wanted. There isn't anything like super like I'm not doing anything knotted after each stitch. I'm not it's not like a blanket stitch where I'm also having it come across the top. It's just sewing them together. And this is how I know how to do that. I can't say I've taken a class. I think I might have watched a YouTube tutorial or two to find one that, like, yes, that makes sense to me in my brain. Okay, I can do that. And like I said, I think there are not these templates, but like the sizing templates. You can get these. That's not true. I know that you can get pre-cut templates to sew around. I just, in my brain, I'm like, I could just make those. I don't need to pay for those. It's something I'm gonna throw away anyways. Okay, I might as well use it. So you can buy them. I just was, on the bandwagon of use what you have. I really like that bandwagon. Okay. Kind of want to like rifle through my stitch book and see if there's something that could work for the center of this, but it's okay. I didn't get any like embellishing threads down, so okay. Two in this point, and then out here with a knot. Or two. The assembly has really kind of not got me tripped up, but it's gotta be, I know that they're folded. And the green has to be attached to all of them, essentially, at some point, right? But it's gonna be like right over top of it, and these kind of sew together, or come together like this. So it's not really big, it's just kind of this really simple, straightforward, small little pincushion. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Ooh, I need a knot. Okay. Let's do let's fold you corner to corner. There we go. And then nope. Ay ay ay. Start in our corner. Or yep, it's a corner. Get that cinched in. And then we'll work our way across the straight edge. I think it'll be cute. I'm excited. I'm kind of surprised that it matches my scissors so well. That was definitely not planned. And then I think the like sewing down the sides to each other, I don't know. mm, like I feel like it would be easier to do it like right side in. um, and sew it like I've been sewing the rest of them, right, on the back side, and then get all of the cardboard pieces out so that I can then flip it right side out and then just have like one or two that I have to sew from the front side and hide my knot, if that makes any sense. We'll see how it goes. Probably should have read through the tutorial instead of just looking at a picture like, I can make that. Oh well. Okay. I want this green one sewn all together so that we can get the cardboard out. That's always like big reward. Okay. I'm really not sure. I think we're gonna have to take out the cardboard to some degree to like assemble it. And I think the only way I can think of is to kind of assemble it like anything else, like you do it inside out, so to speak, but you leave a little bit just so when it's right side out. Um, and I also, like, you could totally iron these without too much steam. Like these ones have been sitting in this shape form with the fold in them a couple years. um, so I'm not worried about that crease, but these ones we just did tonight, right? Like this fold is pretty fresh. And although I've been, working with it and it's getting a little bit of that crease in place, it's not getting a ton. Um, and I want to just make sure that fiddlesticks. It's getting, I don't know, if it can stay in place without the cardboard. I don't know if it'll do that very well if it's only been in its folded state for like an hour. Um, details. Okay. So let's get a couple knots here. We'll trim it. Let's do this guy right here just so continuity. Okay. Sure. Yikes. just want to catch both sides. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. I don't need to catch the whole thing. Apparently my thread has other plans. Okay. I think that this will be good. We can always add the last green piece. Might be fun to have one side a little bit different than the other, but I'm not going to sew up another hexie. I have other greens, but this one's done. It's made up. It's ready to go. Set aside for this project. Nope, did not catch both sides. There we go. Okay. It's going to be a cute pincushion. I'm excited. Just gotta wrap my brain around the assembly. That's barely catching a single. There we go. I want it to catch more than just a single strand of the fabric. I mean, not too many, right? Like you don't want it super bulky, but enough that it's gonna, stay. Okay. Let's go this way. Still tangles. It still catches on something. It's not really tangling, I guess. Arg. I think I'm just gonna do a running stitch right over yonder. Because we need to have a green off of one of these petals, just like so. And although it's probably going to be a pain in the butt to work with, might as well just get it attached. Maybe not work with, work around. I think it's going to be a pain in the butt to work around. It's okay, we'll get there. We'll figure it out. I think the assembly of this is going to be a lot smoother than I am anticipating, but kind of kicking myself for not like reading a tutorial. Because there's probably one of those like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't have thought to do that. That makes sense. Okay. Alright. Oh, there you go. Why won't you go through? Okay. 2 stitches in the corner. And then we'll take out our center green. Maybe start to sew some of the purples together, maybe? I don't know. I'm just going to trim the basting stitches. I cut it in the center of the thread, so there's going to be 2 of them. One and 2. And then you can just kind of pull it out. Right, pretty slick. It's a little bit more malleable now. You can kind of see the fabric just kind of moves more like fabric because it doesn't have that stiff cardboard inside. That being said, these are all going to get sewn together. I think like so. So up and over, and then I can do one there. So let's start with that plan. Right, like they'll all kind of not that way, not that way. Right, like I think they'll all just. Oh my gosh, does not want to listen. But I think that's kind of what it's gonna do. This one's just struggling to conform. It's doing its own thing. Okay, so we said we'll start here. Oh, there's a knot on that side already. Let's do it on this side then. Maybe. It's kind of a longer tail. That's okay. Okay. Right? Yeah. Okay. I already have 2 stitches in this corner, so I think I'm just going to move on to stitching down the straight edge. I do think that like sewing it inside out is going to be easier, at least for the majority of the assembly. We'll see how that last bit goes. Might have some choice words. Might have to readdress on a next live stream if I don't quite get it right, but we'll see how it goes. I was thinking we'd be able to get it done in 2 hours, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I was mistaken. Okay, 1 and then 2 in the corner. And then this one goes here. Oh boy. How do you? Sure. Oh. Okay. It's gonna be great. We can do this. I just need to get those first few stitches and then it'll line up more easily. Oh goodness. Okay. First few stitches, we got this. Yeah, I might have to go like watch a tutorial, read some directions. Oh my goodness. Okay. The cardboard is what's keeping them in their shape. It is also what is making it hard to sew now that we're trying to make it into a three-dimensional item. we're getting it. There you go. And I think once I get this first one, so like the part that's hard is this piece, and once I get it sewn, I can take that piece out. So I'm kind of thinking this first one might be the hardest. And then once I can get this third side stitched to this piece, I'll be able to take that cardboard out, and the rest of them should go a little easier, hopefully. That's thin. There we go. Okay. Two in the corner. And one more straight edge, but it's not with the green. It's with this purple. Okay. And then I can take this one out. And I think we'll be in much better shape, I hope. This feels awkward. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it turns out. Okay. That was not how I intended. Okay. I was just trying to look at the like funky little shape that it's making as I fold it. I feel like this could give me arthritis. My wrists are so tense, like pinching it, holding it, manipulating it like little twists and turns. I'm sure that's not quite how you get arthritis, but it feels like it would not help. Okay. I'm gonna do, no, that did not feel right. I'm gonna do one stitch in the tip, even though it should be. I've already got 2 stitches there. I don't think I need to. So I'm gonna do this. Nope. Tie a knot. Maybe. Nope. There we go. Okay, let's see how this knot goes. Okay. Here goes. Nothing on taking out this cardboard. Although I think I need tweezers for these threads. I don't know if I can grab them. Okay. I swear I cut it. I did. Okay. It's a pain in the rear. Not gonna lie. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna highly recommend tweezers for this portion of our adventure because I've got a longer tail, but I can't hardly grasp it. So I'm gonna cut the knot off and pull it through the back side so that I can get this piece of cardboard out. Okay. There is one. Okay, so this guy, it's gonna be hard to, we'll try. Okay, I'm gonna put it right side out to kind of show you because I'm able to get this one out, and I'll use like a crochet hook or a pencil or something for these tips once they're all the cardboard's out. But this kind of will help you maybe visualize the shape of the pincushion and size. So if you use a bigger template for your yeah, well, if you use a bigger template for your Hexi, obviously your pincushion with this pattern would be bigger. I'm using the ones that I've already made 5 million of, but remember the ones that I said my mom gave me would be this size instead of this, right? So it would be like this big around instead. Might be a little bit easier to work with, also maybe no different, I don't know, but we're getting there. It's a little slower going than maybe I was hoping for. I should have anticipated it being slower. But my thought process in getting this, and this sewn down is now when I move on to this and this, I'm not fighting the cardboard in this piece that we just took out. So the sewing portion of it should get easier. It's just going to be like that last piece. I don't know if that's big enough or if I need to leave this and that open. I don't know. I feel like gosh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to get too far along and then I can't like backtrack what I did because I am not following a pattern and I didn't really research it. I was just convinced that, oh yeah, that's easy. I can do that. Um, kind of rethinking that thought process. So I feel like I should call it a night and do some research by Sunday. Because I really like this idea, but I want to make sure I'm not like screwing myself over on this whole process. This is currently the plan was this is the back side or the bottom side, but it doesn't really matter because they're identical, right? But that's kind of your shape and size. It'll be super cute. I'm excited. Okay, let's call it a night so that I can kind of brainstorm slash research this assembly. And maybe they're not supposed to be this small, but too late. We're gonna try and make it work. But let me see if I'm not like missing a step on the assembly. And then I also thought Hexis are super fun for me. I have another pattern, but it involves a sewing machine, so we'll see how far we get on that. I might have to like assemble, like do the final assembly off stream. But we had been talking about these guys, the wool balls with little china dishes. So I'd kind of like to, since we're in this pincushion um, segment, if you will, little phase, see if there's some stitches that I can do on these guys, because I think that could be really fun. Some of the stuff that I got for Christmas is wool felting. I've never done it before. These were pre-made. I don't know if I could get it into a perfect sphere, so we'll see. That might be a bigger learning curve, but I'm excited because in theory I could make those. But I've got a few. Some fun colors, just kind of pique your interest. It's kind of chartreusey. It looks really terrible against the screen, so just don't look at that. It's a really fun color. I like that kind of mustardy chartreuse, I guess, not true green, but yeah. So that's kind of maybe on the docket. We probably won't get through all of them, but kind of play around with a couple and get some pincushions tackled before we hop into some Valentine garlands. I think the just need a break from the holidays, and this is a perfect break. So, thank you, Dorothy Z, for keeping me company tonight, and following along with our pin cushions to all of you. I had fun. Uh, I am a little unknown on next steps, so come back on Sunday, and we'll get this guy wrapped up and finished, and maybe hop into either the Hexi and or the wool balls and to make one of these guys because I think he's pretty cute and I'd like to learn how. So come on back in a few days. Otherwise, have a is that New Year's Eve? Mm, I don't know what my plans are. Maybe stick around and make sure you have those. You've liked the page and you're getting notifications, so you know when we go live. Because maybe I'll do something Saturday night instead of Sunday. I don't know. So yeah, turn on those notifications. Don't miss out. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week. If I don't stream this weekend, have a great New Year's. Hopefully you guys have a happy and safe and wonderful, fun New Year's Eve celebration to New Year's Day.